Hello, my very beautiful Scorpios. The image that I got for you so this is the reading for August 18th, or when you see it and it resonates. And also, it won't be for every Scorpio. But for those who I'm reading for, this is the image that I got. It was a picture of you looking down at your chest, and you're big, and you're looking down at your chest, and you have a skeleton key, and you've got a lock in your heart chakra, and you're putting the key in, and you're turning it, and it's creaking open. Well, it doesn't creak so much. It opens, but what happens is then, as you do that, all of this pink light spills out, and it's almost as though I can see it as the connection between the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra. It's almost as though I can see it. I was almost going to say like a zipper, but it's not. It's like a series of interlocking cogs. And as you open the heart, gradually those open, click, 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 until your power center fully opens. So this is the message, my beautiful Scorpio, is that by opening your heart chakra, by choosing to unlock, and I'll explain more about that in a minute, by choosing to unlock and open your heart chakra, what happens is, instead of making you more vulnerable, it actually makes you more centered in your power. And as you are more centered in your power, then I can see it moving down through your water chakra and your root chakra. As you're more confident in your own personal power, what happens is you become more secure in the idea of secure and healthy attachment and detachment. And that allows you to really anchor into a solid, confident, really happy place of who you are in terms of your personality and who you are in terms of how you interact with the world. So for me, this starts off beautifully, and it continues beautifully too, because what you're getting here is this. There's quite a lot, and Spirit's quite talkative today, or I'm quite listening today. What I'm getting here is the first emotion is grief. That's the first card that comes up for you, is grief. And as I was getting that, it made sense to me in terms of your heart, because grief, listen to what the grief card says. This came after I got the image. Grief is one of the most powerful emotions we can experience, maybe because it pushes us inward to our hearts in a way that feels uncontrollable. The gift is that our hearts can truly open once they break, if we allow them to. It's merely the protective shell that breaks, revealing a greater capacity to feel and to experience loving in a more expanded sense. So when I look at that and I link it to the image that I got and the feeling Spirit was giving me with that, it was that it feels to me, Scorpio, as though part of what you're doing now is you are taking the risk of opening your heart to feel grief, deep sadness, and that it is now, it's as strange as this may sound, this is you taking care of yourself. Because in the past, you would have set aside your feelings and you would have been in, okay, let's fix mode. Let's do this. Let's take care of this. You would have been there for everybody else at the expense of really listening to and honoring your own feelings. You would have been in hero mode for everybody else. Now you're in hero mode for yourself, and you're in hero mode for yourself by allowing yourself to experience whatever emotion comes up for you, even in relation to other people's grief, other people's sadness, other people's difficulties. You don't have to deny your own feelings in order to be there for somebody else. In fact, sometimes it's just being able to be there with the truth of your own feelings that allows them to also be there with their own feelings in a way where I remember a therapist once saying to me, well, you had nobody to help you hold your pain. And I think that is sometimes one of the most profound things we can do for people, is to just be there and help them hold it. And we can't do that if we're trying to fix it for them. We can do that with compassion and with empathy in a way where they understand that we get it, but it's not, our feelings are not taking over the situation, if you know what I mean. You're also getting the prayerfully card, okay? And this for me is, it's interesting because it's coming up more and more, that it's about acknowledging the presence of the divine within. It's about acknowledging the connection that's already there. But I'm going to read this for you anyway. Prayerfully can mean actively praying or invoking the support of a divine presence. Alternatively, it can mean letting your mind and actions reflect an attitude of acceptance of, or at least the possibility of, a higher power which is there to guide you. It could be maintaining an awareness of something sacred or mystical and acting with the acceptance that it's present even in the most seemingly mundane activities. It's up to you to choose, but this is what you're being reminded of. And then you also get the humility card, which is saying, no matter what you know, think you know, or are planning to do, remain open to the possibility that there is wisdom beyond yours, and stay open to the input. Okay? So this is saying no matter how much you want to rush in and take care, if you want to really honor your ability to feel your feelings and open your heart to the full range of emotion, then the prayerful attitude and the trusting that there is higher power, both of those cards are representing that. So I feel as though, Scorpio, whatever you're dealing with now, if you are dealing with this in a specific situation, you're being told, lean into divine presence, into communion, into the understanding that there is higher wisdom, that you are allowed to just be real and authentic and present with your own feelings about whatever the situation is. That is part of you being your own hero now. And that, you know, you can choose to look at any kind of role model that you admire and use that as an anchor point for how you wish to be in this situation. Now, this may be just generally a way of being. Like I said, this won't be for every Scorpio. But for those of you who are dealing with an immediate situation where this is relevant, be your own hero. Choose a role model if you're not sure how that would feel like, what that would be like, and do your best to emulate that energy. For those of you who are dealing with this or looking at this in terms of an overall way of being in life, what you're being told, and this goes for the people who are dealing with immediate situations as well, you're also being told, look at where shame has played a role in your life in a way where it was not okay for you to feel your feelings. Look at what behaviors of taking care of other people, what sadness, what grief, what loss led to that sense of shame, and led to perhaps caretaking behaviors where you had to be the one that rose to the occasion and took care of everything. But also look at forgiveness. Forgiveness within the context of check in where you have just said to yourself, oh, okay, well, that's all right. Yeah, fine. And where you really have not forgiven, where you're still keeping track of it, because forgiveness really means letting go of the energy of attachment to the situation, or at least that's one way that I look at it. When I keep replaying a situation, or it's still locked away in this one little box, perhaps next to many other boxes that are similar to it, I know then that I have not completely released the energy around that situation, and that there is a place in me that is being held back from that higher energy that I want to be in. Because if I'm still attached to that situation in a way where I'm not really, where I haven't really forgiven it, there's a part of me that is still dedicating some of my mental and emotional energy to that, even at a very, very subconscious level. So this is a good opportunity for you to look at that and to look at the freedom that comes from, the freedom and the healing that comes from really being able to admit that you still have anger, sense of betrayal, whatever it is around that, and really look at that as a point of liberation for you so that you can move forward, because it says it's so It's so, you feel the lightness when you can let go of that. You feel the space in you that is there when you really let go of something. And it's magnificent. You're being asked to, if you are having a difficult time with this, you're being asked to to keep a calm focus and look at where the voices and the rules from the past may have kept you in a state of shame, may have kept you from being able to forgive. Look at where some of those beliefs and that old value structure might need to be elevated with a more expansive view of learning and growth and consciousness in a metaphysical way rather than just in a human psychological way. Okay, this is really a wonderful opportunity for you, Scorpio, to apply so much of the expanded awareness that you've evolved and really apply it to specific situations and specific ways of thinking when these issues come up. Okay? Now, Scorpio, this felt like a really, really very direct message. And I just want to take a minute here to tune into Spirit, because the feeling that I got when I saw you opening your heart, oh, now that's nice, was that there was actually an angel. Wow, okay. I felt angelic energy. I felt divine presence, which I have to admit I often do with Scorpio. Sometimes more palpably as angelic presence than just spirit presence. But what I see as I tune into the energy of it is you actually have an angel's hand over your hand as you're turning the key at your heart chakra. And this says to me, of course, what that says to me, how can it not say to me, is that, and it's so full of love, it's so full of that beautiful pink supporting soft energy, is that you have a cushion of love from the angels, and you have it there because it's not been easy for you. It has not been easy for you to trust enough to really open your heart that deeply, to feel the depths of your own emotions, to take a chance on facing betrayal, shame, grief. These are big emotions. These are heavy. And you have worked through many of them, and you have worked through many layers of them. Spirit and the angels are saying they're here with you now when you're ready to proceed. You don't have to work hard. Ask their guidance, and they're going to help you turn that key. And that actually is a visualization you can use. Thank you. That is a visualization you can use to start releasing more of the energy and opening the energy from the heart chakra. And please remember the first image, which was that as you open that, the others gradually start to open until you get full flow. Okay? You've already got it coming in from here, and now this is how it continues to integrate into your physical presence, your earthly life, your physical healing, your clarity and choice, all of those things. Okay? I leave you with that, my Scorpios. God bless. Take care.